Hello, good morning and welcome to the kitchen table this Wednesday. It's Alison Southern here from the Melksham Tea Ministry. I hope you're well. How are things with you this week? There is so much about to happen in terms of what the government, I think, are coining the phrase Freedom Day. Freedom is coming it's an old spiritual song that I used to sing a lot when I was down in Marjon in the gospel choir. We used to really enjoy the harmonies and the hope of that old spiritual song. But Freedom Day seems a really strange word to describe what the 19th of July will be. I guess restrictions will be lifted in many ways. But whether it will be a freedom day for everyone in this nation or whether it will be a day of trepidation, I think remains to be seen. Much has been thought about, I know, by the government and advice taken. Decisions have to be made about how we move forward as a country and whether you want to just move on and live life normally or whether you are a bit more cautious. Each one of us will have to decide what freedom means for us. What does freedom mean, actually? Freedom is the ability to change the way you do things without interruption, without fear of oppression. Freedom is a release from being held back. Of course, freedom is so much more than that too. And I think it's really interesting that on the very day that the nation is being described as having its Freedom Day is a day where a bill comes into enactment that the government have put in that actually takes away lots of our freedoms. The freedom to protest, the freedom to gather together in crowds and speak our minds. In the Christian tradition, we have always had prophets, people who stand on the edge of society looking in and seeing what is causing pain and just sheer grief at the way the world is running and speaking into that situation. I have marched many times across my life against war, against nuclear armaments, against all sorts of things. I guess I could hold my hands up to being a pacifist, somebody who believes that we should try and find answers that are not war, that believes that we should care for our planet and what that stewardship means. So I have quite strong views, I guess, on several issues. For me, the fact that the Freedom Day falls on the same day that some of those freedoms, for me, might have been removed. The freedom to walk around without a mask is one thing, but the freedom to be able to speak your mind, to share your point of view, to listen and to influence each other. Those are the marks of a society that listens and grows and cares for all of its people. So I am actually feeling quite anxious about Freedom Day on all sorts of levels. Jesus had much to say about freedom as well. He talked to his brothers and sisters about freedom being theirs, but not to use it just for freedom in the flesh, but to use it to love one another fully. And to allow the love of God into your life, that the Holy Spirit, when it comes into your life, brings freedom. When we are able to fully see our brothers and sisters as they are and step into that relationship with them, supporting those in need, offering ourselves in ways that we can. The whole experience of the pandemic has brought about a different world. And there's no going back to the way the world was before, despite the call for it to be a freedom day. Things have changed. The way we do things, the way we learn, the way we run our businesses, the way we interact with one another, the space we give one another. Even when the laws are changed or we are allowed to do hugging in the streets, throw away the masks if that's what we want, we are still changed. Maybe by a loss, maybe by a financial situation. We can't come out of this unscathed. And businesses all over the world are having to redesign how they do things. The church is no different. It's reimagining itself. And that's a painful situation, not just for those in the pews, but for priests too. How we go about the pastoral care of all the people that we do care for in these days is different. I sit here, I guess this is my pastoral care. I don't know whether it feels like it, but to try and engage with you, to let you know you're not out there on your own, that you are actually thought about, even if you are still being cautious and still staying at home. Or maybe you just haven't got the energy or the physical strength anymore to do the things you used to do, because this period of time has taken that from you. Know that you're not on your own. Know that you're loved. But know that as a world, we are still drowning in COVID. And that "I'm all right, Jack" attitude won't help our world. And until we help all of our nations to heal from this pandemic, we are increasingly vulnerable to its influence. So when we have Freedom Day would be a day where we give as much as we can of our vaccines to other nations that need it. Freedom Day is when we support the weakest and most vulnerable in our society to feel safe. Freedom Day is when we can speak our truth and be heard. Freedom Day is when we can care for one another and know that we are cared for too. So as we head towards the 19th of July and that momentous moment in many people's eyes, spare a thought for those for whom this will be a day of trepidation. Spare a thought for those who want to protest against injustice. And spare a thought for the slide away sometimes of freedom that we don't even notice. And maybe too, in that, allow the Holy Spirit to enter into your lives and look with love upon everyone you meet, because there lies true freedom. When we care for each other enough not to want to take something from you to make myself feel better. Whatever it brings, we'll step into it together. But I hope you find the freedom you're looking for in your lives. I hope you find the love of God in it too, and the true freedom the Holy Spirit brings. Bye for now, and I'll see you on Sunday from the kitchen table.